indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Almond.
Here.
Burnett. Caligari.
Here.
Comfort.
Here.
Dross.
Here.
Hermson.
Here.
Ocean.
Here.
Okay. First item up is the opportunity for community comments. This item is reserved to receive comments from the community for concerns whether or not they're included on the current agenda. The community is encouraged to speak before the mayor and city council, asked to keep statements brief, time limited to no more than 3 minutes. Any questions are to be asked of the city staff, council members, or the mayor prior to speaking to the full council, so concerns can be properly researched and perhaps answered away from the meeting. Comments are to be directed to the mayor and city council only. Is there anyone who would like to speak tonight?
I think that's me.
Actually, no, you're.
Actually, going into item, you're next on the agenda.
I haven't got an agenda, so I'm just kind of guessing.
Okay.
You're next, though.
Yep. Okay.
Number 5.
Okay, seeing none of the public who wants to speak, item 5 is a special presentation from Oskaloosa.
Thank you for having me. I'm Allison McGuire. I'm here representing Oskaloosa Main Street. I'm the current board chair and have had the pleasure to be a volunteer with Oskaloosa Main Street for about 5 years now. And I wanted to give the council and the city officials a little bit of an update on one of our newest programs. The first ever Elevate Upper Story Housing Tour was held on Saturday, October 1st. This event was coordinated by Oskaloosa Main Street's 4-point committees, including economic vitality, design, promotions, and organization. Volunteers from each committee helped plan and organize the event and assisted with staffing the event. Elevate was very well attended, with nearly 100 visitors touring the 7 sites. The tour included finished, unfinished, and raw spaces. The goal of the tour was to generate awareness of downtown upper story living and to show the potential of our beautiful downtown. We plan to offer another tour in fall of 2023 with different properties. Priority 1 from the Oskaloosa Main Street Strategic Plan is upper story housing. We feel that this event did generate awareness and interest in our downtown, and we hope to continue the momentum in 2023. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer as best as I can.
I wasn't here, Allie. I was on vacation down south. Did you guys have a good turnout? I mean, how many people did you?
Yeah, we were close to 100 people altogether,
nice.
100
Okay.
tickets. Yeah, so it was very well attended, and 100 was our goal. So we
Did
hit
you get
that
any
well.
interest?
So we had 2 investors who've contacted us since the tour, so we're still working through that, obviously, but yeah, we've had two interested parties, including one who develops properties in other communities.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, great. Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you,
Thank
Allison.
you, Allison.
Yeah, I don't want to steal Allison's thunder, but my wife and I had gone on that tour, and we were very impressed with both the potential and then also some of the work that had been done. So I think Oskaloosa showed nicely in a number of different ways. So very well done.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Okay. Item 6 is consider adoption of the consent agenda as presented. These items are generally routine in nature. I did want to call out item M, which is a resolution scheduling a public hearing for November 21st, considering adoption of a proposed Plan Oski comprehensive plan. That thing's been on the rails for a couple of years now, and it probably feels like more. So we're looking forward to that. Item N is a resolution scheduling a public hearing for November 21st to consider levying special assessment against private property for weed cutting. And also item O, a resolution scheduling a public hearing on November 21st for vacation and sale of a 16.5-foot wide section of the north-south alley adjacent to 546 9th Avenue East. Do we have a motion of support for the consent agenda?
I'd like to pull item I.
Okay. That one,
Let's consider a motion for 2080.
2080. Okay. Is that a motion for everything but I?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hermson.
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Caligari.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Dross.
Yes. Okay, that passes. Going back to item I, this is to consider a motion approving a 2080 agreement between the City of Oskaloosa and the Iowa Alcoholic Beverages Division. In essence, it's allowing the City of Oskaloosa Police Department to provide the compliance checks on behalf of the ABD. And so with this agreement, they'll regularly enforce ticketing of underage use of products and cooperate with civil permit proceedings and provide monthly reports.
Okay.
Comments?
Yep. I was looking this over, and first question is this has to do with the I pledge? Oh.
Hi. Thank you, Councilmember. Yes, this has to do with some of the I pledge. Yes,
Okay.
we deal with the alcohol, tobacco, and vape all at the same time with ABD.
So as I was reading through this here, and I pulled this document, in the I pledge, are we already signed up for this?
For the program itself,
Yeah.
I don't believe we are part of the I pledge program itself.
Okay. And I was reading through the first part of it, and right there on the first page, when you pull this document up, it states right in here, we are agreeing, it's, you know, it says Community Iowa, and it goes on, that we're pledging to follow the rules and all this other stuff that's in here. Because some of the items that was pointed out on this document here, talking about, where did I read that? Oh, down at the bottom, the budget section there, where it talks about police department, $75 per reported compliance and so forth. That is all in this document. So it's basically, it's a program. We pledge to it, we agree to it, and then going forward, anytime you find some findings out there and you record it into this database, and they will determine if any funds will come back to Oscar, you know, back to the department. So I guess what I'm getting at, I don't see the reason why we need a 2080E agreement, whereas you got this program, you're technically agreeing to the program and all the other things that's followed. Maybe there's something we can relook at. That's my view on it, as far as trying to create a 2080 agreement and we don't really know what's all in here.
Sure, and I'd be happy to look at that for
Okay.
you. The ABD requires a 2080 for us
They
to
do?
participate annually, yes. So
I
this
didn't
is,
see that in here, that's
this
why I was
is their
questioning.
2080 that they send to us in order to.
So there's a 28 they send, ADA?
Yeah, the ABD sends
AD,
that.
I'm sorry, ABD.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that's something we had to create.
No, this is one that they send to us, and we have to have council approval on that too.
Oh, because I didn't see that in the packet, that's why I questioned it. I thought, like I said, I thought we had to create the 2080 agreement.
I see. No, it should be on the attachment. I think it is
Oh,
up on the
I must have
screen.
missed that then.
This is something we've signed, we've agreed to in
We do
years
this
past,
annually.
right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we're part of the
then,
programming.
my mistake. I didn't see that
And
document.
then,
And then again, we didn't have internet, so.
Yeah.
That is a different problem.
Oh, sorry.
Your Honor, I believe this is the case for most of state programs. They'll be implemented through 2080 agreements.
So with that agreement, would you have to join, log in on this program? Because that's what it sounds like it's all coming from.
Yes, so we work with the ABD and
Okay.
follow all their requirements, and we've been doing this for
Okay,
years.
all right. And that just took care of it.
No
now.
problem, thank you.
Okay.
And then just to the I pledge, this is targeted for middle school and high school age.
Yeah, now it's up to 21 years old.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
It's-
In that, no, I was at the Mahaska Kind meeting. I was the only one in government there, and they were talking about how effective that was because there was some establishment in town that was routinely selling. Then it was 18, you know, and so it was one help.
Okay.
So I heard good things about it from the community.
Motion of approval on I?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the 2080 agreement between Oskaloosa and ABD.
Okay,
Second?
second. Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Valajari,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Strauss,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Gets us into the regular agenda. Item A is to consider a resolution levying a special assessment against private property for cutting and removal of weeds by the City of Oskaloosa in accordance with Title 8, Chapter 8.20 of the City Code of the City of Oskaloosa. This does require a public hearing. And so Just a note that certified notices were sent to each property owner. Notice was published in the Oskaloosa Herald. And if approved, the property owner has 30 days from the time of filing with the Mahaska County Treasurer to pay for the weed cutting in the city clerk's office. After 30 days, it's assessed to their property taxes with a payment schedule at 9% interest. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wants to speak to this? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion of support for this assessment on 4 properties?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Dave, I'm just curious, not that it matters, but if there's no address listed for C and NW Railway Co., how do we serve them?
Interesting you asked that question, because right now I'm just bringing up on another screen Mahaska County Beacon, because I know we've danced with the railroad on that before, and my understanding from the past has been they routinely pay it, although when you try to track some of that down, I know in the past we had some issue, I'm trying to recall the details, but we had some issue one time trying to get a hold of them. I've been advised they routinely pay it though.
Not to interrupt, but we did receive payment. I was going to tell you that in the discussion. We received that late, like Thursday or Friday. So they will be removed from the list with the agenda already.
And this ain't the first time.
Okay.
They have a better system set up now, so we don't have this very often, but they have been a lot better about coming in and
Be nice if they just mow it.
We
If
would
they're bad
rather-
enough paperwork,
Yeah.
just pay someone to mow it.
Yeah.
they were surprised by this because they thought they had it all worked out. So
Okay.
Okay.
I might go out there with that.
Other comments? Roll call, please.
Almond,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item B is the code enforcement quarterly report. This is something that we do every quarter, having to do with how code enforcement is going. So, fresh from the redundant comments that a guy can make. So, Chief, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to go ahead and read the goal of the program. I don't read that every quarter, but just to remind everyone, we're here to encourage private property owners to maintain their properties within established community standards and to uphold the City Council's directive to eliminate nuisance conditions that negatively affect community appeal, reduce community pride, and threaten to reduce property values. So we're here for the third quarter report, which is June 30th through, July 1st through September 30th. We had a total of 56 cases. Where are we at? Next one. Sorry. 56 cases. You got a breakdown there of the dilapidated structures, brush and trees, hard surface parking, the garbage and junk. Grass and snow is down quite a bit from last quarter when the grass was obviously starting to need to be mowed, and we had 67 of those last quarter, so it's down about 44 cases in just grass and snow, so people are starting to mow their properties again. The one thing that we are seeing more of is and we're going after is the garbage and the junk that we're seeing, and a lot of that is around the dilapidated properties. So with the program that we're working on with the abandoned properties, I think that's going to make it easier for us. Right now, when we try to find these people, it's phone call after phone call, just trying to find an owner to give notice to or send a letter to. So hopefully if we get that abandoned properties pushed through and they get registered and stuff, it's going to make things a lot easier for us to get a hold of the people in a more timely fashion. Going through to some of the pictures of what we got done this past quarter. We'll start with 501 North I. This obviously was inoperable and hard surface parking. We've been working closely with PD on a lot of these inoperable and hard surface parkings, and we'll continue to work more on those because there's plenty of them out there. But there's the cleanup of that one. Obviously, once we gave them the notice, they were very compliant. 407 South A, this was a eviction. that we knew nothing about. Actually, there were 3 evictions in this last quarter. This was one of the bigger ones that just ended up there, and it ended up there for quite a while. We got quite a few calls. Once we did get a hold of Midwest Sanitation, obviously we're at their mercy as to when they can get there to do it. So that was probably there a little longer than we liked it, but you can see the cleanup of that after that was done. And then 614 Fifth Avenue West was a landlord-tenant issue where we've had issues with this place before, and we went through the proper channels, gave them a green tag, 2 weeks notice after that. The landlord actually had another property that she had evicted somebody on. They got that one cleaned up. She knew this one was coming. It did not get cleaned up in time. We did let her know that, you know, hey, we are going to order emergency abatement on it, and if you have it done before, that's great. If not, you know, we're going to get it cleaned up. And this is obviously the cleanup afterwards. This one has been paid, so that's a good thing. So those were 3 of the highlighted things of this past quarter. Getting ready to move into winter, so we'll be dealing with snow, and we'll keep working on the junk and cleanup of such items. So we do have some more mowing and grass that aren't on here. We give 1 notice a year, and then we have it mowed. If it needs it again, we just order it mowed, and we've probably got 4 or 5 of those that we've basically just been mowing all year long. So those aren't indicated on these totals, but we're driving by and seeing those as, you know, they need to be mowed, and we're giving them to Grant and his guys to get those taken care of. Questions?
Going over to the 4th slide, that's the one that shows the total and also the number closed. And I was trying to remember, can I read into that we have, as of the end of June 30th, we had 6 open cases, or is there more than that? That's just what was the number that were opened in up to June 30 and the number that were closed.
Thank you for pointing out my mistake in my quarterly report.
Sorry.
I looked at this 5 or 6 times, and I went to Stephanie late this afternoon, and I said, I found it. That should say September 30th, 2022.
Okay.
So, my bad. I'll put your fires out 7 days a week, but I can't. I looked at that 10 times.
Oh, you showed you someone else, yeah.
If you needed something edited, you just ask the mayor, he'll help you out there.
Oh yeah, you bet. I can nitpick anything. So as far as the number of cases that we still have open though, as of September 30, this would indicate that we started off with 56 during the quarter and cleared 50, so there's 6 that are still out there?
Yeah, of the dilapidated, so those are the ones that take the longest.
Yeah. Still, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
So
that's very good.
nicely done. Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes.
2 questions. So you talked about the grass mowing.
Yeah.
Do they get charged each time, or are you doing that as a courtesy?
Oh.
Okay. So it's okay to do a rolling charge?
Each time it gets mowed,
It goes.
Grant sends the information. or
Okay.
His guys send it to City Hall, so they know, how to bill accordingly for that. And
Okay.
then each time it gets mowed, there's a charge.
Okay, so they only have to have 1 public hearing, and after that.
One more.
Yeah. Every
They
month.
could appear 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
Okay.
through the process, because we do it by month. So
Okay.
every month we bill them. If they don't pay, then we bring it to council, schedule a public hearing.
Okay.
And they have 30 days, and then if not, then it's assessed and we take it over for it.
Oh, okay.
And the fine goes up each time as well, doesn't it?
That's correct. Second violation, 3rd violation. Mhm.
Okay. 2 more, illegal burning, what is the definition?
We've had a little bit of that in this last quarter. Burning, basically you can have a recreational fire. So if you have an approved fire pit, which is a, round, contained area, you can burn firewood. You have to attend it. It's a recreational fire. You can't burn.
How high can the flames be?
What's that?
How high can the
It's
flames?
recreational. I can't dictate the flames, but you have to
Okay.
attend it. You can't burn yard waste and stuff like that, or, other materials. And we've had a little bit of that, that we've been called repeatedly to, so we've had to deal with that too, and actually send citations. So
And then the third question, do you feel the fines are high enough to pay for all the work that you're doing on this?
We look at that with the staff just to
Okay.
be sure, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I do appreciate this. I was at Fremont City Council, and they have the city council members go out and do this. Yeah. So thank you very much.
I know budgets are tight, but no.
Yeah, the mayor was like, oh, sure, it's easy. I'm like, but I had to keep my mouth shut because I was just there for public, not on the council. So thank you very much.
Chief, quick question, just procedurally with the garbage and dilapidated properties and such, if you get called out to check out somebody reports a bunch of garbage behind a house, procedurally, if that person isn't home when you go visit the site, do you leave the green card there and saying they're in violation? That's standard.
Green card, which indicates what the violation is.
Uh-huh.
So it'll say junk and debris, it'll say grass, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That gives them 3 days. Obviously, down at the bottom is our phone number. If you have
Mhm.
any questions, give us a call. We do get calls occasionally,
Yeah.
more than what you would think. So that's good to have that rapport and let them know exactly. We'll go back out, we'll, walk through the property, let them know what our expectations are.
Mhm.
If we don't hear anything from them after 3 days, Zach will send a letter. That gives them 2 weeks, and then after that time, even during that time, we're trying to get a hold of an actual property owner and be able to talk to them, to give them, hey, this is coming down the line, and, it's gonna be expensive, so if you can take care of it, that would be great. Doesn't always happen, so then after the 2 weeks, yes.
I assume when you hand them the green card, you're also taking pictures at that time too.
Yeah,
So
we take pictures
Okay.
of the green card as we write it out in a vehicle.
Perfect.
Then we take pictures of the property,
Okay.
and we put the green tag on the door, and we take a picture, so all of it's lumped into one case.
You reference evictions. It is obvious when somebody got evicted,
Yeah,
isn't it?
right.
Yeah. And I appreciate the reminder that yard waste is not to be burned as a recreational fire. And it seems like every year we see a few of those where someone piles up a bunch of leaves and sets them aflame, and then they're surprised that somebody is bothered by that. So thank you for the reminder. Very good. Thank you, Chief.
thank you.
Going to item C, this is to consider a motion to receive and file inspection reports from the DNR regarding wastewater treatment facilities. So we've got 2 letters of noncompliance from the DNR for violation of final effluent limits, one for the northeast treatment facility, one for the southwest treatment facility. The reports are outlined in the agenda. It's pretty lengthy. Sean, would you be willing to speak to that?
Yeah. As you said, we have our 2 letters of noncompliance. There's a total of 7 different items that kind of need to be talked about. 3 of them are common to both of the facilities, and the rest are all the Southwest. So, going through the reports, the first item is that we have to comply with the effluent limitations of the NPDES permit at all times. Currently, we have infrequent effluent violations at both plants. At the Northwest plant, it's for dissolved oxygen and ammonium nitrogen, and at the South plant, it's for total suspended solids and pH. Both of these are items that we're aware of. We do our best to minimize them, and they'll be addressed by the new plant. But in the meantime, they're just things that we need to keep an eye on and manage as best we can. The other item is we have received a notice of violation for significant non-compliance with copper limits, specifically at the Northeast plant. This has been something that staff has been looking at for a long time. We are taking a number of measures in an attempt to reduce this. One of the difficulties that we have is that the north plant is a trickling filter. That technology is not really effective at removing copper because it was not designed to really do that. And in addition to that, the copper limits that are set by the DNR are quite low compared to some of the other limits. In speaking with Kelly Hefner at the water department, if you were to run tap water through the system and dump it out into a stream, we would not meet our copper effluent limits. So getting our copper to the proper place is definitely a priority. It's something we'll continue to work towards, but it is a difficult compliance for us to meet. This also will be addressed by the new plant, so it is something that our overall design going forward will address, but since the notice of violation is a little more serious, we're looking at it more carefully.
So, excuse me, the copper limits, you want copper in the water? Is that what
There's a maximum amount of copper that can be in the water.
can be in the water? You try to eliminate it.
We try and reduce the copper below
Right.
a specific amount.
Oh, I misunderstood you then. Never mind.
Yep, no problem. The second item is to continue to eliminate sources of inflow and infiltration within the collection system. As you know, our ongoing CIP projects are aimed at repairing the sanitary sewer system in various areas through town in order to identify and reduce those places where storm water is making it into the sanitary system or groundwater. So that is one of our large CIP items that we'll continue to work towards. It's just been an expensive and ongoing process. In addition to that, the combined plant is designed with such a size that it will handle our flows even with the current I&I. The goal being that as we reduce the I&I over time, that means that our plant will begin having more capacity. So that should be addressed. The third item is to comply with the requirements of NPDES General Permit Number 1. Again, that has to do with that I&I level that we have. Once we address 2, it kind of plays into 3 as well. Then specifically for the south plant, we are the DNR indicated that we should develop a treatment agreement with the Mahaska County sanitary landfill. If we're going to accept waste from a landfill, then we do have that requirement to have that plan. We don't have design capacity to allocate per the permit, so this is something that we'll have to continue to have conversations with the DNR about if we do want to take that. Fifth item, the city needs to determine by November 15th whether Clow Valve meets the definition of a significant industrial user and submit a report to the department with the findings. If they are considered a significant industrial user, then we need to have a pretreatment agreement with them, which basically dictates the level of waste that they can output into our system so that we aren't processing things that they should be taken care of on site.
So as of today, they do not have that classification.
We'll
Right.
have to do the assessment. We'll have to
Okay.
review that and determine.
But they do
But we
not
don't
at this
have a-
point.
Currently, they don't.
They're currently not classified as a significant industrial user,
Yes,
but we've been requested to assess that.
yes.
Thank you.
Is this the issue where they operate under our license?
True, everybody within our jurisdiction operates within our license.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the last 2 items are just recommendations as opposed to the requirements from the other ones. One was to provide a 24-hour time composite samples for the purpose of determining compliance for the limitations in the treatment agreement, and specifically this is referring to the Oskaloosa Foods pre-treatment agreement that we have. So we have had discussions about changes to our current treatment agreement, and we've also done some work on identifying places that we can put up this sampling. So we have been making progress on this, and it's a matter of coming to an agreement. And the last item is to monitor the condition of the upper equalization basin at the southwest plant. That basin has had seepage during high capacity, or when it's been used to its full capacity. Fortunately, at the south plant, we have 2 basins, and so our solution has essentially been to take this basin out of operation. It does hold pretty frequently about a foot of water just naturally due to the way the pipe flow is set out, but with that amount of water, we have not observed any seepage. Additionally, it is capacity that's available to us if there's an emergency, and over the last 2 years, there was only one situation where they had any need to use that. They were able to empty the basin within, I believe it was 30 days, and they did keep an eye out for any seepage and did not observe any. So as of right now, this is being met. It's something that we do need to keep track of, but we have kind of an emergency capacity to use at the very least. Yeah, and those are all the items that were outlined by the report.
And also, we do have our consultant online. Lori's here with us. If you have any questions, she'll answer.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Hi.
Good job, Sean.
I did want to comment on item 4 for the Southwest plant that the Mahaska landfill doesn't have any particular desire to send their wastewater up here to Oskaloosa. They do have an agreement with Atumwa, I believe, I think it's Fremont, that they've got it as a secondary in the event that Atumwa wouldn't take it. So I think from our perspective anyway, we wouldn't have to pursue anything regarding that as far as any kind of a treatment agreement with the landfill. Any other questions or comments?
Could you explain a little bit further on the Oskaloosa food products? It's pretty sparse on the summary. It just says to improve communication and coordination. And exactly what is Oskaloosa food products?
Lori, do you want to take that one? Lori's
I feel like
working.
I know more on.
Lori, she's working on a draft agreement with Oskaloosa Foods.
Working on the agreement with Oskaloosa Foods
Correct.
in regards to their
To what?
testing and everything else,
The pre-treatment.
the pre-treatment.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, basically we're just taking a look and updating the pre-treatment agreement to set forth kind of an understanding on sampling, and that's what the DNR is referring to, the method of sampling, to maybe just kind of clarify and reach an agreement on the method of sampling and testing and other things. So that's what we're working on with the city right now, looking at the way other cities are doing it around the state as well.
Okay.
So that's
Specifically, testing and sampling of what?
Oh, sorry.
It's very vague. I want specifics.
Okay.
What is Oskaloosa food
yeah.
products and what are they
Oskaloosa
doing?
is a processing facility, and they have their own wastewater plant on their site. They have a little 2-tank SCR, and the effluent from their wastewater treatment facility, it treats some of their waste, but it treats it down to domestic level, and then they discharge it into the sewer, and it comes to the city's plant. So it's specifically the sampling of that waste. There's different ways you can sample waste. You can sample the waste, or you can base it on the flow meter. And there's time samples, flow-based samples, grab samples, stuff. Just all of that means of actual sampling to kind of define that and set forth the criteria so that all parties can have an understanding and agreement.
And this
And
is,
that's pretty common. A lot of cities across Iowa have agreements that they put together just so there aren't any questions and so everybody's on the same page.
So basically, if they are in violation, we are in violation.
As far as their traffic.
They're operating under our own permit.
right, they're operating under our license. So is there city staff witnessing the sampling? Or is it just them doing the sampling and we're just taking their word for it?
That's the process we want to make airtight.
All right. Because if something goes wrong, you know, and they're under our license, we're responsible.
How long have they been sampling their own?
Do you know,
As
Sean,
long
for
as
how
they've
long?
had that
As long as they
treatment
have,
agreement. I mean,
Really?
That's my concern, just
Yeah.
to have the city also be involved some way, somehow, how we want to do this, to be involved in their sampling. Because they're doing it and they're reporting it, but just keeps everybody honest, that's
And they
all.
were responsible for putting that in themselves, correct? There was no funding from the city when they put their own in, correct? Their wastewater facility was put in
As
by
a lead
by-
today?
part of their construction.
Yeah,
when they
typically the
constructed
treatment
their
plant,
facility.
that would be by the industry. And just kind of aside from, a lot of cities do have more control over the sampling that you have with Oskaloosa Foods, and that's one of the reasons for revisiting
Okay.
the treatment agreement, is so that the city has more control.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question regarding the copper from the Northeast plant. Is that a health
Yeah.
concern for residents, or Is that
No, not actually. Humans can consume a lot more copper than fish can. So the copper levels are very low because it's toxic to fish, toxic to minnows and that. And so the drinking water standards are actually a lot higher than what you can discharge to the stream, which makes it challenging.
Other questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, do you have a motion of support for the receive and file the inspection reports?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any other comments? Roll call, please.
Caligari.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Strauss.
Yes.
Hermson.
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item D, this is to consider a motion waiving the developer's default under section 6.6 only through July 1st of 2023 and consistent with section 11.4. Waivers should not be deemed to waive a breach of any other provision or other subsequent breach of section 6.6 pursuant to the development agreement with Oskaloosa Gateway Hotel LLC dated July 9th of 2019 and continue authorizing certification for a tax increment for payment of an economic development grant. So on July 1st of 2019, City Council approved Resolution 190787 that approved and authorized the execution of a development agreement by and between the City of Oskaloosa and Oskaloosa Gateway Hotel LLC. Pursuant to the terms and conditions thereof, Oskaloosa Gateway Hotel was required to hire at least 15 full-time equivalent employment units to work at the property and by July 1st of 2020, and retain a monthly average of 15 FTEs until the termination date in order to be eligible for economic development grants. The hotel has averaged approximately 58% occupancy as a rolling 12-month average, so that exceeds the performance of similar hotels in the region. Current staffing level is 14 FTEs, and that's reasonable as they've adjusted their operational procedures to provide a high level of service despite the ongoing worker shortage in many industries, and that includes hospitality. So Oskaloosa Gateway Hotel is requesting the city waive the developer's default that they didn't hit the 15 but they got 14 and provide the economic development grant. Development agreement is on file and review at the city clerk's office. Staff is recommending approval of the motion waiving the default. Do we have a motion of support for this?
Moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Have we done this before? Have we had to?
Yep.
We have.
Yep.
Lucky they got 14
Yeah.
with these days.
Yeah. Roll call, please.
Comfort.
Yes.
Strauss.
Abstain pursuant to section 12.1.
Hermson.
yes?
Ocean.
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Caligari.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Moving on to item E. This is to consider an ordinance amending the City of Oskaloosa, Iowa Municipal Code, Chapter 1.24.060. This is authority to issue civil citations. Second reading. You've heard this before. So a new magistrate's been appointed for Mahaska County that raised concerns and questions as to the statutory authority of the city attorney to sign municipal infractions on behalf of the city. So to answer and clarify the possible concerns, an amendment to Code Section 1.24.060 specifically would grant that authority is requested by adding the following subsection, quote, item H, the duly appointed Oskaloosa City Attorney as to any of the above listed matters filed on behalf of the city as a representative of the City of Oskaloosa, unquote. In addition to the above recommended changes presented at the October 3rd council meeting, other updates to the ordinance are needed to align the current practices by department, and there's a red line version included in the agenda. Do we have a motion of support on this second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Strauss.
Yes.
Hermson.
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Caligari.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Moving on to item F. Consider approval of payment of $7,665 to SVPA. It's for services completed on the Early Childhood Education and Recreation Center. The city has received invoices for their services on the rec project. 2 invoices totaling $7,665 for additional services related to the quality of construction issues with the swimming pool and delays related to the early childhood wing's substantial completion. SVPA Architects, Water's Edge Aquatic Design, and IMEG are providing the services on an as-needed hourly basis per the AIAB 101 standard form of agreement between the owner and architect. Cost for the services may be charged back to the contractor per the owner-contractor agreement and the AIA 201 general conditions of the contract for constructions. Do we have a motion of support for this?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hermson?
Yes.
Ocean?
Yes.
Almond?
Yes.
Calgery?
Yes.
Comfort?
Yes.
Dross?
Yes.
Okay, that gets us to the end of the regular agenda. Let's see. City staff. Mall, anything?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
City clerk, anything?
No, sir, thank you.
City attorney, anything?
Nothing, thank you, sir.
Okay, council members. Lisa?
Oh, I thought I would do a little good, bad, and ugly again. Just because city councils have been in the news in the last 2 weeks since we've met. And so kind of as a friendly reminder, maybe sometimes how well we get along. But the good was Josh Mendelson proposed at the Des Moines City Council about an abortion bill and having a safe zone there. And the idea being, if you bring this to the local government level, city council is the most local that you can be. And 2 out of the 7 voted for that. So that was an interesting idea. Newton had a belligerent person during their public comments, and the mayor had to have him escorted out with handcuffs and that. So you're lucky you don't have that. And then obviously I think most of us know what happened on Los Angeles City Council in that. So anyway, we're lucky that we mind our manners.
Joe?
Do we know when we get the latest update on the rec center in regards to the pool?
I
Any clue when?
think we will have a discussion next council meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Charlie?
Boards and commission reports.
Yeah.
From MCRF, for those of you that are not aware, Sherry Vavra, the executive director of MCRF, did obviously submit her resignation. Last day is November 4th. No information right now for me to report on transition plan or anything. So, submitted a while ago, but this is our board and commission report.
Yeah, we wish her well.
She'll be missed.
She will be. I would also note that my very first city council meeting I attended was Sherry Vavra's first city council meeting.
Janet?
Yeah, we have a lot of, for Chamber and Main Street, there's a lot of holiday events coming up, so be sure to look at their Facebook pages or just around the community. They try to get flyers up, so be sure to partake in that. And then we're also doing the Wish Book again, so look for that coming out again to shop local for Christmas.
Okay. Very good.
No, sir, thank you.
Okay.
The landfill commission that Dave and I sit on, they had opened up the recycling and it has exploded. They've had way more than they've ever thought, and so I encourage you, if you haven't been down there, and they'll even give you a free tour. We took one. They're open by phone or coming down there, but they've really had a great turnout with the recycling. So.
That's, you're talking about where you drop off glass and stuff?
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. Glass, they have wood pallets down there that are neatly stacked, some of which have an age on them of like 1 to 2 weeks. That apparently there's somebody out there that ships stuff on brand new pallets, and the recipient then discards the pallet. And so they end up neatly stacked down at the landfill and they resell them. But it is an interesting service that they can provide if folks want to buy those things. And I've got nothing else I want to add at this point. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
It started with those long drives, didn't know where we were going, just you and me. Yeah, the AC blowing got me wrapped up in your brown